Greetings, adventurers, and welcome back to Abnormal Voyages. My name is David, and today we find ourselves in Akeley, Minnesota. Throughout American history, there arises certain figures that are destined to become legends. These uniquely American folk tales are usually referred to as tall tales, and that definitely applies to the subject of today's video. As you can see, I'm in this large hand here. We are actually going to be looking into the wonderful and one and only Paul Bunyan. This here is the world's largest Paul Bunyan statue. He actually has quite a few throughout the country, but here in Minnesota, they definitely love this lumberjack. So today we're going to learn all about this historic figure and see what makes him special. Come tag along.
We're going to a place that you've never heard of before. It's Abnormal Voyages. You're gonna learn something new. We're gonna open new doors. It's Abnormal Voyages.
As seems to be the case with a lot of folklore, the origins of Paul Bunyan are a little muddled. However, one thing a lot can agree on is that he does either hail from here in Minnesota or up in Maine. You'll certainly find statues and references to him pretty much all over the country. But here in Minnesota, they have not only some of the oldest, but also some of the most beloved. We now find ourselves in Bemidji, Minnesota. Here, Paul Bunyan and Babe have been standing since 1937. This town definitely loves Paul Bunyan, and not only that, but they have a couple of his artifacts that we can look at. Let's go see them. The statues being here since 1937 is definitely impressive, but as far as Paul Bunyan himself, stories stretch back even further. We saw some of the first ones pop up in print in the early 1900s, like 1907 or so, but it seems they were telling stories of him and his faithful blue ox Babe well before the 1900s even started. With his large stature, he is definitely accredited quite a few extraordinary feats, but one of my personal favorites is that they say here in Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes, well, those lakes were mostly formed by the giant footsteps of Paul and Babe. Heading into the visitor center here, we're able to learn a little bit more about this giant man who was behind all the tall tales and adventures. Now, we have a couple of artifacts from Paul Bunyan's life. First, his broom way up here. And very quickly you're going to learn, he is a larger-than-life figure, so are all of his items. This case has plenty of things that he used. We have his baby moccasins down here. They are about like that, so that was a very big baby and became a very big man. This is his needle and thread. We have got his spaghetti down here. I think that one of his noodles is larger than my leg, so that's a very hearty meal. We keep going down. We've got his belt here, probably very, very long. This giant pencil for any notes he had to make. And then even a Q-tip there. And one of his playing cards. That playing card is bigger than my head, so I don't know who he was playing with, but it must have been other giants. If we keep looking, up here on the wall, we have Paul Bunyan's shotgun and one of the shells there. He is definitely going after some very large game with something like that. He also enjoyed hunting and fishing, so we have some of his fishing lures up here, and they are appropriately sized because I'm sure his fishing pole was also huge. If we keep moving this way, this was one of his famous axes. Of course, as a lumberjack, he definitely felled a lot of trees in his time, so there's his giant axe. And then these are a good example of a walking stick he would use. This is literally the size of me. So I hope it gave him a lot of support. We saw that he liked playing games. You saw his playing card. Here are some of the dice that he used. And it looks like he just got, not quite 7. So, and yeah, just everything in his life was way bigger than what you would think. And hold on a second. I think there's a call coming in on his phone. Hello? Sprinkled throughout this center was plenty of artifacts from the big man, including his hat and gloves. And being in Minnesota, he was definitely a fan of the Minnesota Wild hockey team. They made him an extra large jersey for one of their biggest fans. And who knew? It turns out Paul Bunyan has actually won an Olympic medal for curling. Very appropriate. This was really neat. This is actually a set of stamps that was released by the U.S. Postal System. We have Mighty Casey, Pecos Bill, John Henry, and Paul Bunyan, all true American legends. Lots of artwork throughout, so you can see that for well over 100 years, people have been inspired by Paul. This is actually Lake Bemidji right near the statues, and they claim this lake, like the others, was formed by a giant footstep from Paul. And personally, I have always loved that no matter where Paul goes, his very loyal friend Babe is always next to him.
Well, there's a lot of awesome stuff about Paul here, but this is hardly the only Paul Bunyan spot in Minnesota. Let's jump to it.
Continuing our Paul Bunyan voyage, we are now in Brainerd, Minnesota. Paul is such an iconic figure for this state, they even have an entire park named after him. That's right, we're here at Paul Bunyan Land. Babe is next to me, all ready for us to come inside, and I hear Paul will even talk to you. Let's go check it out.
Paul Bunyan Land is absolutely a nostalgia-filled throwback for many families in Minnesota. And as opposed to having artifacts from Paul's life, they have a lot of artifacts here that celebrate Paul. This is for fans of Mr. Bunyan and people who really want to remember his legacy and everything he means to the people in this area. After you've checked these out and gotten an idea of how big a fan they are of him, you can follow these giant footprints that you'll find on the ground. And where else would they lead to but right up to Paul Bunyan? A giant animatronic that, hold on, let's see if we can get him to talk. Here we go.
The two dumpsters here, eh? Why, yes, I believe I recognize you three down there. I believe the names are Harper and Ellison, eh?
Yes, a little cheesy, but honestly, that's part of what makes it so great. For a lot of families in Minnesota, summer just wasn't the same until you visited the giant Paul animatronic and heard him say your name.
And as the sun sets here in Minnesota, we find ourselves in Kelleher, where, underneath me, may be the body of Paul Bunyan. This is supposedly his final resting place. Here at Paul Bunyan Memorial Park, this large mound may contain the earthly remains of a very, very large man. To commemorate this, we actually have his grave marker here. Paul Bunyan, the years he was born and died. Here lies Paul, and that's all. But for many, including myself, Paul Bunyan's spirit will continue to live on and keep that American legacy going. Well, that's all the time we have for today, adventurers. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and then comment below where you think we should go next. All of it really, really helps us out. And if you're interested in giving us a little extra support, please check out our links down below for our Patreon. You can get a lot of really cool stuff, including a postcard every single month from somewhere we've visited. My name is David, and this has been Abnormal Voyages. Thanks for tagging along. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching.